Hi, this is Kara from the Special Needs Mom podcast.
And this is Angela from Especially Organized, Sensible Solutions for Special Needs Moms.
We have this heart for special needs moms. And so we thought, you know what, let's combine forces. And we have come up with what we're calling the Purge Party. And you can pretty much guess what it is. It's a party where we're going to come together and we're going to purge or, in general, accomplish a goal, a small goal together. So we have set this for January 27th, starting at 8 o'clock for my Pacific Coast people,
which means 11 o'clock for all of you on the East Coast. So this is an opportunity. If you have something on your to-do list that has just been stuck there and you are wanting to move it up on the list, you're wanting to tackle, maybe it's a space or an area of your home or a category in your home that has just needed a little time and attention. This is your opportunity for you to be online with us while you work and have access for us to help you answer your questions, help guide you, and just serve you for those 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can tell like what we've designed is just this very high level of support for that project that you just haven't been able to tackle on your own. The thing that we are envisioning is that you get to leave this purge party feeling so accomplished because you did the thing. You started the year off getting that thing done that you were stuck on last year. And so it's a momentum builder, if you will. You can go ahead and sign up. We have a link ready for you, and we are offering this for $40 for the whole experience.
Absolutely. And we hope you'll join us. I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a great group of moms of special needs kids. So we all get each other. We all have an understanding of what it's like to have something on our to-do list, but just we haven't been able to tackle it yet. So I hope that you will join us. We're super excited to bring this to you, and we are thrilled to work with you.
All right. We'll see you all there. Hi, I'm Kara, life coach, wife, and mom to 4 incredible and unique children. It wasn't all that long ago that my son received a diagnosis that had my world come crashing down. I lacked the ability to see past the circumstances, which felt impossible, and the dreams I once had for my life and family felt destroyed. Fast forward past many years of surviving and not at all thriving, and you'll see a mom who trusts that she can handle anything that comes her way and has access to the power and confidence that once felt so lacking. I created the Special Needs Mom podcast to create connection and community with moms who find themselves feeling trapped and with no one who really understands. My intention is to spark the flare of possibility in your own life and rekindle your ability to dream. This isn't a podcast about your special needs child. This is a podcast about you. If you are a mom who feels anxious, alone, or stuck, then you are in the right place. Welcome. Welcome to the Special Needs Mom podcast. It only took me 3 times to get my children and my family quiet enough so that I could record this episode. Yes, we are still in winter break, which my guess is about half of you are too, depending on your school schedule. And you know, we're almost there. We are almost there to a little bit of a normalization of schedule. I was thinking a lot about this episode and what to bring to you. Regretfully, I did not plan as I intended in December all the episodes for January. So I found myself scratching my head a little bit, noticing I had some of my own resistance to jumping into the new year. And so I thought, you know what? What is more perfect than bringing you a conversation about normalizing where we might find ourselves in this new year and coming up alongside you as your partner in this life and talking a little bit about it, normalizing it, and giving us a little bit of peace along the way. Before I get into the bulk of the episode, like I've been doing in some of the previous episodes, I'd like to bring a little story or snippet from our lives. And this one I thought was just perfect. So, driving along yesterday, it's January 1st, and my sweet son Levi says to me, "Hey, Mom, you want to know what my New Year's resolution is?" And of course, I eagerly say yes, kind of also surprised, like, oh, wow, I didn't know he had his mind on resolutions. He's not even on social media. Where is he getting this? And so he says to me, my resolution is to not have any more brain tumors. We were driving in the car and I was in the front and it was funny. I mean, I have to say, wow, that was kind of witty, but awful that my 13-year-old is thinking about that as a resolution. So that is my little introduction story and probably also an indicator of how I'm feeling about resolutions right now. January, we are going to focus the episodes around leadership in all different aspects. And you might be wondering, wait a second, Kara, I'm a mom. What does that have to do with leadership? And we'll get a lot more into it in the episodes, but really one of the things I'd say very passionate about is helping moms see who they are as a leader. I think a lot of times, unless someone, bestows a position of leadership on us, we don't consider ourselves leaders. I like to rethink that a little bit, but just in case you were wondering or in any doubt, I officially promote you to the CEO of your life. And, congratulations, first of all, on your promotion. And, what a good way to start the year with this promotion to CEO of your life. Getting us into today's episode, again, I really want to just kind of normalize where you might find yourself and connect. Really, this episode's more about connection, normalization, and giving ourselves the permission that we need to be exactly where we are. So there's two things that are coming up when it comes to this time of year, this planning, goal casting, visioning, planning for the future, this really just like go get 'em kind of energy that's out there that I'm guessing you're not all there yet. You're not like, yeah, let's go. Woo, party. But you're not there. You're like, Kara, I'm still catching up. Like I am still in my pajamas, or I wish I was in my pajamas. So there's two contributing factors to not feeling ready or to being in this anti-resolution camp. And the first one is the last time you went out and set some goals, the rug got pulled out from under you. I was chatting just briefly with my friend prior to this episode, and she said, she was like, the last time I did a vision board and thought of a word for the year, I got cancer. So she didn't say it, but it's like, I'm not doing that again. And I relate to this so significantly. And actually, it's kind of what inspired the particulars of this episode, because I remember last year, I was in the energetic energy of vision casting. I was excited about the year coming. I really genuinely thought that the hard of 2021 of my son's recent health challenges were behind me. Like I really thought, okay, we made it through. And just to kind of catch some of you up who are newer to the show here. So my son, Levi, who was 12 at the time and now is 13, he had recurrent brain tumors in August and surgery in 2021. And then, so as I'm referring back to the beginning of last year, January 2022, I really thought I was through that. And if you've been around, you know that in February, he was diagnosed with 2 more tumors and then had surgery again in March. And then we did 6 weeks of proton beam radiation in April and May. So I very much was not through the thick of it. And so, of course, my plans were completely foiled. And like my friend, I was a little bit like, okay, that didn't work. So now I find myself a little resistant to put so much time and energy into casting a vision and to even dreaming about the future. It can be quite hard, actually, when you feel like, I guess, a little bit powerless when it comes to creating that. So I guess I just really want to say, if you're in this place, you're not alone. You're not alone. This is totally normal. And there's still so many opportunities we have. I think the most important thing I want to emphasize is it's just not a problem. It's not a problem that you feel this way, that you find yourself stuck a little bit in the past. The second thing that I think is really contributing to what I'm, again, calling this like anti-resolution or this resistant resolution is you're just not ready. Yes, so the ball did drop and you maybe lit some fireworks, but you're not ready. You are still in hibernation. And even though the clock says now it's January 2023, you're still back again. Maybe your kids are home from school. You're financially and emotionally still feeling the impact of the holiday season. And it's like the feeling I feel like it feels like is you're being asked to run a race that you didn't sign up for, that you're like, I don't want to. I'm like, feel like I'm getting pushed versus I really want to step into this. And that's kind of how I'm relating to the new year this year. You may not be exactly here. You might be very ready. And that's awesome. But for those of you who feel like it's a problem that you're not ready, I just want to calm us all. Because I think that that's what actually happens for me is I compare myself to what I see around me and I see people, declaring their word of the year and, there's so much noise. There's so much noise out there right now about how to start the year and things we can do, opportunities. And it can just get a little bit overwhelming, especially when I'm comparing myself to where I'm at and the capacity I currently feel like I have to where other people might be. And so the thing I want to really put in here is that it's not a problem. It's not a problem that you're just not ready to engage in a conversation that has you looking forward. The picture I had of myself when I was thinking through this episode is it's like a mama bear who has literally been hibernating for the winter. It's almost as if when New Year's hits, we would expect every single bear throughout the world to come out of hibernation right at the same time. Same day, same time, with the same energy. And that's not how it happens. Some bears maybe wake up a little early. Some bears a little late. Some bears even later. And none of these bears are like, oh no, I didn't wake up from hibernation on time. They're just like, all right, where's my berries? Where's my cubs? What are we doing next? I mean, I don't really know how bears think, but if I was a bear, I'd be looking for the berries. And I wouldn't be worrying about when I woke up from hibernation. And so I think it's just, again, so easy to compare where we are to where we see and perceive others to be. And then it starts to feel like a problem. So with this said, I want to welcome you to resisting the noise and actually just shutting it off when you need to. So if that means like not reading all the emails that come in, including the one I will send out, just go ahead and skip on over that. Just say, I'm not ready to take that in and just allow yourself to be there. One of the most important things that I do as a coach is tell the truth. And so with my clients, it's not always easy to hear the truth, but it's always helpful. And just this idea of being honest with yourself of where you are is what I want you to kind of take here. And we just to actually do an inventory and ask yourself, what capacity do I have now to sit down and vision cast or take on anything new? And what don't I have? And really, really get in touch with your intuition, your inner being, your core, and really learn to listen. If this was a skill I could bestow on anybody, it would be definitely one I would grant around the world. I think everybody has this capacity 100%, but we've underutilized it and underpracticed. And so the gift I would give is a well-practiced ability to really listen to yourself, quiet yourself, and really just listen. And when we allow ourselves just this listening, when we just stay where we are for a second and allow ourselves to settle in, we can regain this footing. So that's really what I sense that I need right now. And I can't say it's exactly the same for you. But what I sense I need right now is I just need to regain my footing a little bit. But before I take on anything new, before I really kind of get excited about what's to come in this coming year, that what I need is just a settling. I need like all the stuff in my house to not be also disheveled from Christmas. And I need my kids back in school. And then perhaps I'll check then. Perhaps I will be ready to engage in that type of conversation that typically happens with this new year New year, new you. Just kidding. Okay. And then there's another point that's really, really, really helpful for me, especially when I am like, wait, am I missing the boat? Should I be jumping on this bandwagon? One of the things that's most helpful is to recognize that there's nowhere to go. There's no destination to arrive to, and I'm not late. There's no place that is better than here. And I get it. Like maybe you're in a hard season and you're like, yeah, well, once this radiation is done, it's going to certainly be better. That's a little bit different. I mean, in the sense that it's not exactly what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is that when we live for this future that we think might be better than where we're at now, it robs us of the experience we're having now. And even in those hard moments, like if I look back to radiation season last year, it was definitely a hard season. It's one of those seasons when I look back, I'm like, how do we even do that? But in those moments, it wasn't 100% awful. There was actually some wonderful things throughout there. And so the gift of actually recognizing that there's nowhere to escape from, that actually we have the capacity to really have some highs and lows wherever we're at, it lets us unattach and tether from having to get somewhere. And when we untether to the idea of having to get somewhere, then that gives us access to peace now. It's a beautiful thing. So that would be the thing that I invite you to kind of consider is, are you trying to get somewhere away or different than where you're at now? And just to start really wondering, like, well, why am I trying to do that? Like, what am I trying to escape from? What do I think it's going to be like when I get there? And how is that different than it is now? So in quick summary, the idea here, if you just don't feel ready, is to settle in, to listen to your intuition, and then to choose what is right for you, right? So this is so individual. Really settle in and listen to learn what is right for you, and then go try it. I would love to hear what y'all come up with, because I think really this is so unique to each of us when we really listen to ourselves and learn to listen to what we need. Now, I want to go back to that first point, the one where I talked about this resistance to planning or to vision casting because it seems pointless, because the last time you did it, or perhaps every time you do it, it seems like the rug gets pulled out from under you. And here's what's happening is you're protecting yourself from disappointment. You're like, okay, so that's what I did then. It didn't work. I just got disappointed. I got my hopes up and then I got disappointed. I'm not doing that again. That makes a lot of sense. And so that's also not a problem. The opportunity, I think, is it's a coaching word, but it's what we call getting complete with something. And it's really looking back at something and looking at what something was or what it wasn't, and really processing and allowing all the feelings in relationship to that thing or event or season, and forgiving and healing and bringing the grace that is needed to let that thing be the past. And there is such power in letting the past be the past, because if you bring that into the future, then, I mean, imagine if you were unwilling ever to make any plans for the future because they could be thwarted, then that will actually make a lot of things impossible in life. There's so much gift in being able to dream and to vision and to kind of anticipate something that you would like or like to be. And so if you find yourself in this place where you're resistant because you are just tired of being disappointed, then that's okay. Bring this compassion to yourself and work to forgive the past. And I want to mention here that this is something that if you feel like you need more support in, then I would invite you to reach out to consider joining Pathway to Peace, because this is definitely something that we work on inside of the program. And I guess I'll mention a little bit more about the program now. As I mentioned, it is a group coaching program, and it would be a really good fit if you identify with any of the places that I described today, and you're like, well, Kara, I don't know if I'm ready to jump into anything. First off, that's okay. You might not be ready. But if you feel like, oh, I want a little bit more, like I'm ready to engage in a little bit more conversation about what I want moving forward, this would be a really good fit for you, especially if you say, and I want to do it with other moms. I don't want to do this alone. I'm tired of doing this alone. And so I would suggest, if you're at all curious, it's a very easy process to reach out. We schedule a quick conversation. It's zero pressure. It's really just an opportunity for us to get to know each other better, for you to learn about the program, to see if it's something that is right for you or is right for you in the future. So in order to schedule that consultation, what you'll need to do is find the show notes and click on the schedule here to schedule a conversation. And I will look forward to getting to know you. And with that, I'm going to call this episode complete. We'll see you hopefully over on Instagram, where I will be re-engaging in conversations about this podcast and about life as a special needs mom. You can find me over at the Special Needs Mom Podcast. And if you wanted to leave a note or have any requests for the show, you can also do that via my website at karariska.com. I will see you on the next episode. One more thing before we officially wrap up this show. Sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, I have the experience of wanting more. I'm listening at the very end thinking, I sure wish that episode didn't end. I invite you, if you feel in any way the same way, I invite you to the Special Needs Mom podcast community, which is a free group that I host on Facebook, where we as a community of fellow moms who listen to this podcast and are experiencing life in similar shoes, get to talk to one another, get to share stories, get to actually interact. I hope you'll consider joining. See you over there.